Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical. This is a really special interview. So it's one of my favourite people, who is Carin Smolinski. Um, Now we want to do multiple YouTubes because at some point we need to do the life and times of Carin. But this one is about a very special project, which is really trailblazing the vertical space, which is called Tides of Desire. So my first question for you, Carin, I'm going to go straight in, is
Right.
where did this come from? Why is it different?
Oh, I could go on forever. Well, first, thank you for having me. It's so excited. We're all so super excited for everything happening with Tides of Desire. It came from, well, first and foremost, my son, Indiana Wilson, is an emerging director of photography, and we're both in this industry, and I wanted to do a project with him. So at the start of everything is my son and us working together. And some people think that's a little crazy, but we love it. We're so symbiotic together. So it started with that. And then it also started that I have a house in Nicaragua. And so I thought, well, great. We have our location, we have a free location. So let's just go. We'll just keep it small. Keep it small. Like, you gotta be joking me. It is everything. Oh, that's my cat. Yeah, it's that's Alice. There's another one too. And keep it small. I don't think it's in my vocabulary. That's the thing. It started out like, we'll just go indie me, maybe like one or two of his friends and, keep it tight, everything. And then it turned into this full-blown production with 32 people in Costa Rica. So
For people who don't know, can you explain why the process of how you're making Tides of Desire is different to the way verticals are normally made in the relationship with the platforms?
yes, great question. So typically a platform has the script. And I mean, there's some variations to this, but this is kind of the norm, is that a platform has the script, and then they will contract it out to a production company with either a budget in mind, or the production company submits a budget and then there's a bonus at the end. So the production company is producing it for the platform, which means the platform is very involved, from wardrobe, makeup tests, style, acting, all of those things. So that is how it typically is made. Myself and some others are trying to go a different route by self-producing and then selling it to the platform after we've produced it. Typically, that involves investors, which then, once again, you are kind of working for someone else. And my whole life, I've been a serial entrepreneur, and maybe I just don't take direction very well, except from directors. I do, but in the work world. So I just don't like being told what to do. So, I decided to self-fund it, write a script that I believed in, and take it from there.
So that's an amazing answer. So you're doing it all, you're in control. What did you decide for you was really important in a vertical that needed to be in your story or your script?
So many things. So many things. So I've acted in over 20 verticals. So I've seen the gamut, about tropes, content, writing, all of those things. And first, I have to say, I love verticals. I love everything about them. I feel so blessed to even be in this space. I just feel like it was this little gift that has come into my life and made it a lot more sparkly. So I have to say, I love verticals, and I'm not on a witch hunt against what is out there or the platforms or production companies. I just wanted something different. So for me, what's really important is consent. So, as a mother and as a woman and as a human, I believe that consent is so, so, so deeply valuable. So consent was a big one. A values-based production. So that's talking about while we were actually filming, but also with the values of the production company, that we are people first and foremost, as well as inclusion. So we have diversity, inclusion. I forget how many nationalities we had working behind the camera, but also in front of the camera. We have people with accents. We have people that have different color skin than what is typically seen in verticals. We don't have any violence against women in it. I'm sure there's more things, but those are the big things. But it's still fun. It's still dramatic. It's still spicy. There's a lot of all the little ingredients that make us want to watch verticals, but just with a little more ethics and values base. But also, yeah.
That's a brilliant answer. So my next question is so you had mentioned the original plan was I have somewhere we can film in Nicaragua. And then it got bigger. And then the Observant will remember that then you mentioned Costa Rica. So can you explain how we went from Nicaragua to Costa Rica?
A little jump there.
Yeah.
So Nicaragua is an amazing country. I absolutely love it. And there is it can be a little more difficult to get permits and visas and all of those things. Also, the film industry there is emerging. So we found we couldn't get the rental gear that we needed. And to bring the gear over the process hasn't really been forged yet. And I would be happy to be a trailblazer, but not with this much investment and this many people showing up at a border and potentially, who knows what. So we got to that point in the process, and I just made the call that we're going to pivot because the Costa Rica wants filming. They have the Costa Rican Film Commission. They welcome filmmakers. They have a set process for bringing in. We brought all the camera gear in with us, but they also have production companies and rental houses. And we found the most incredible one, Plug Citric Box, that we found these incredible people who became our line producers, DIT, editor, best boy, and all the all the gear rental from them. So yes, an enlarged camera in Vancouver is who we got our camera package from, which we were very, very grateful for. Yeah.
So far on your squad, right? Because I'm thinking this is a squad. You've got you and you've got your son. Now, this is kind of quite exciting because it's like I can choose whoever I want. Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to cast? Who do I want my crew? Is that actually one of the best bits that you got to?
The best bits. Absolutely the best bits. So if I start with cast, then I'll go to crew. So cast-wise, I worked with, these were all just people that were like my love bugs, that I had worked with before and that I loved working with and that I thought were wonderful humans. Jordan Frank, I was on his first vertical with him. And then Jada Smith, I've played her mom. Mark James, I was on one with him. Natasha played, no, I was mean to her. I'm sorry. I'm mean to a lot of people in verticals, but I was on Natasha. And then I wanted to cast some people who were local to where we were filming, because that was really important to me to integrate people from Costa Rica as well as people that were non so to speak. So Fabiola, who plays Eden, and James, who plays Diego, and Malik, who plays Turtle Tom, all were from where we filmed. They're not from there originally. James is. Fabiola is from Mexico, and Malik is from France. So I cast them from there. So the cast, it was great because I didn't even have to put out a casting notice. I just messaged people like, hey, do you want to come to Costa Rica? So then that was great. And then in terms of crew, I so believe in giving people chances to step up and show what they can do. And that was the same with new actors. We have some people who never acted before. Fabiola, who plays Eden, stepped into a lead role and had never acted before. But, through the audition process, I was like, you can do it. You've got that Latina spice. And, so she brings it. But with the crew, my son just finished third year film school at Capilano University, and he has this group of his best friends that he's moved up with, and we've done short films together, and they're my son's besties. And so we just hugged them up, so they got to have this incredible trip and experience together. And then I pulled from different people that I'd worked with, but basically what it all came down to was who they were as a person. Because we had to be living together, eating together, working together for 8 to 10 days in a tropical climate with potential shit shows. I don't know if I can say that, but so I knew people that I knew were flexible, that went with the flow, that had beautiful hearts. So that was the biggest factor in choosing who was going to go. Because who do I want to be with?
It really is. Like, who do I want to be on holiday with, / working with, / not quite a desert island, but almost, isn't it?
Oh, and also our support crew. So because we were all going there, it wasn't just filming crew and cast. We had a private chef who cooked all our meals, who happens to be my best friend. Nicole, so how beautiful to have my best friend with me there as well. And then I had friends from Nicaragua who were there helping. And so it was like a little love reunion, I guess.
So I just want to talk about Costa Rica, because you've obviously mentioned that it was really welcoming for filming, and obviously you found a fascinating location. I don't think we've covered the tides bit, because it's called Tides of Desire. Now, obviously there's some very nice locations that are inland, but I'm feeling the beach was quite crucial. Could you talk more about that, please, and how that comes into the story?
Absolutely. Well, also because, I didn't want to do something that's been done before. I kept seeing loud and clear that fans were tired of the same stories and regurgitated things. And so I wanted something completely different. So we looked and we're absolutely surprised that there's never been a tropical surfing vertical before. So how is that possible? So we wanted to be trailblazing. So the tides came from, we are a beach location. We have surfing. Jordan Frank does his own surfing in it, which was super cool. Jada really tried hard to do her own surfing in it. She really gave it a great effort. And we do have some shots of her on the board. But we did have to have a body double for some things because it is world-class surf there, and safety was our top priority. So we didn't want to put anyone in danger. So yes, so that's the tides bit. So I think one thing that people might not know is that filming in a tropical location is not as glamorous as watching it. There's sand in camera gear. There's the wind for the sound. There's the sound of the waves. There's all these passerbys. There's light you can't you can't have any white light if you're in turtle habitat. So everything has to be in red lights. There's lots of things that were not so glamorous, but look really fantastic on the final product. So yeah.
Um, so while you were there, kind of what were the best bits there, and what were like the unexpected challenges or the moments of, oh, we have to solve this right now?
I would say the best bit was we all got to stay in this incredible place called Los Nancites. And it's a whole complex of little casitas with a swimming pool in the middle, but then it has 3 different villas also attached to it. So we'd walk through a little path in the jungle. So we all stayed on site together. And so that was the best part. And oh yeah, the other thing was we had siestas every day. So our filming schedule, we didn't film for more than 10 hours a day, which is very unusual. Because, I wanted everyone to be fresh and also to have a great experience. But we would start filming. Well, our call time was 5:30 in the morning, and then we'd finish by 11:30, and then we'd have a 3-hour siesta.
I love it.
So at siesta time, we'd all pool hop. So there was 4 different swimming pools. So it would be like party and pool over here, party in Retreat, so we just like hop, and then there'd be girl talk in one pool, and all the boys would be in another one, like trying to make a whirlpool and stuff. So I think the best part was eating together, all our meals together, living together. And we did so many super fun things, like go on riverboat tours and things like that. So that was the highlight. And being with Indy. But and the challenges, many. Because I've never produced anything of this size before. And so why not do it in a foreign country? Like, that's a great idea, right? Yeah, go big, right?
If you're doing it, really go for it. Yeah.
Go for it, right? So honestly, in quite true, there's all the other things which I'll talk about. But I think the biggest challenge for me was I felt so personally responsible for every single person there. So there was 32 of us. So, from dietary needs, allergies, safety, stinging bugs, scorpions, tarantulas, like all of those things, safety, everything. The weight of responsibility, I think, was the hardest thing. And I just kept saying, when they get on that plane, when everyone gets on that plane, I'm going to breathe for the first time. So that was huge. But environmental factors, we filmed in May, which is rainy season. And it's not rain like we have rain. It's not dainty rain. It is like the skies open, rivers start coming down the roads, everything turns to mud. It's so loud you can't even hear yourself. So the weather was terrifying because we'd have our schedules and then we'd just be like, what's the forecast? What's the forecast? What's the forecast? And we'd feel the wind start to come and we're like, okay, cover the gear. The rain's coming. Get the umbrellas. So weather was huge. Bugs were big. In terms of, there was quite a few scorpions found under pillows. And poor Jada got stung.
Oh no.
She was a trooper. He was a trooper. They're not lethal, but they're not pleasant. So bugs and heat. I don't know if anyone can actually comprehend the heat and humidity. And our crew, they were just rock stars. Ryder, as our grip and Genki as gaffer, they are carrying massive things. Beto, our best boy, bringing things out. Jeffrey. So these people were carrying things, setting them up in the heat. And, the actors, we had green rooms with air conditioning for the most part, except for one location. But even just they'd walk out of the green room and instantly. And then that presents trickiness for hair and makeup because all of our hair went whoop.
Oh, yes, the old humidity.
So I was like dealing with the humidity, all our fate for the actors, all the makeup melting off, sweat. I mean, it was sweat on costumes. So heat, I think, was the biggest challenge. Yeah.
And that you've given such a good explanation, of like why it has a lot more impact than you would think of. Oh, it's just a bit hot. That's not the most pleasant condition to work in. So, yeah.
In another country, and so I did everything in Spanish. So also, that added a whole other layer.
So when you finish something like that, that's such a passion project. Okay, I've kind of asked people about this before. Is there a down?
Oh, yeah.
Like you go back and you're like, I have to go back to reality. And there's how do you manage that?
All of us. I mean, first of all, communal living too. We're just all together. We all got home and we're messaging. We're like, I miss you. I have a Todd. We call it Todd. So type of desire.
Yeah.
Wait, Todd hangover. What's everyone doing? Kind of thing. So we missed everyone, but also for me, it was just an absolute exhale. And I think I stared at the wall for a week. It was just like, not even, not yet. Huge reintegration process for all of us. Yeah.
So you've got I don't want to get in terms right. You've got the film in the can. Everyone's home. Everyone's gone off and done the things. You're now sat with all this footage. So what is the process then of you've got this footage to then having a finished product, and then we will then talk about how you get that product in front of people?
Well, I had no idea what post-production really entailed. I can't say I love it. It was much funner being in Costa Rica and filming and being with all these wonderful people. And then you get home and then actually the real work begins. So there's all this footage. Script supervisor, RB's made all the notes and DITs, all this stuff, tech stuff. I can't even talk about it. Anyways, and then the editing process starts. And so we were lucky because our editor was also our digital imaging technician, DIT. So he was on set with us. So that was quite a bonus. So we really knew the characters. He knew the story so intimately and everything. So his name's Vernie Aguilera. I hope I said that right. From Citric Box. And so then it becomes a huge collaboration between himself and myself as director. And so he rough cuts everything. So he'll put together an episode, send it to me. I'll go through it. I make revisions. So at 0.37 seconds, I'd like you to do a slow zoom into the face, or do we have a close-up for that? Or can you cut back to here? Blah, blah, blah. Then it goes back to him. Then he does that. And then it goes to our sound production, Pablo, who is phenomenal, Pablocito Audia. And he has really just, between the two of them, it really elevates it because the music is so beautiful in it, and the sound and the editing it's gorgeous. So then it goes to sound, then sound comes back to me, then I make notes on sound, then it goes back to Pablo, then it goes back to Vernie from Pablo, and then and then I do the subtitles. Then I send the subtitles to Vernie, and then Vernie merges everything together, finalizes it, and exports the episode.
Wow. How many episodes?
So right now we are up to 45. And we've just got the part where Sierra Graves is drowning, which I'm giving anything away because it's in the trailer, you see.
Yeah.
Sierra. But so very dramatic. So we're up to 45. So I'm anticipating another 10 episodes.
Wow. So that's very interesting because anyone who follows will knows that there is already a trailer out. Because now we move into the next stage of it, don't you? You have this amazing product, and now suddenly you have to completely change tack and become marketing queen extraordinaire.
Well, I'm very lucky because I'm not a marketing queen extraordinaire. Jade Stevens, our Sierra, is our marketer. So yeah. So
Oh, and who better? Who knows the story better?
exactly. And who cares about it and everything. So yesterday she was sitting here all day with me and we're planning posts and everything. So she's been doing an amazing job with that. And then I deal with kind of press releases and communication that way. And she does the social media. So there's that. But then now we're in distribution phase. So now we're approaching platforms to sell it, which is really a bit uncharted territory because platforms have certain styles, they have certain things, so we're bringing something completely different, completely new to the table. So now we're approaching the platforms. So first of all, finding the right contacts, is a thing. So trying to pull all that together and then approaching them. I made a pitch deck and then we send the pitch deck to them. Then we hope that they call us and ask for the first 10 episodes. But you are the first to know. I'm so excited. We got our first offer this morning for purchase. I know. So it's for a non-exclusive for 1 year. But we are really hoping for an exclusive with one platform for 1 year. So we're just seeing where it goes. We're going through the process and we have so many exciting things going on with the launch and with the promo that there's been so much incredible press. Thank you as well for always supporting us. So we're definitely right now putting all the feelers out, taking a deep breath and seeing where it's going to end up. Yeah, so that's exciting, terrifying to me. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, obviously, you will get the platform and you will get the deal that you want because I have no doubt because you're amazing and it will happen. It's kind of two things, I guess. What are your hopes for how this will change things?
So I'm such a believer that I can only control and influence myself. So the big theme through all of this has been be the change I want to see. So I don't want to hope for any outcomes about impact, but I do think already that the way that we've made an impact is I've had so many people write to me and just saying, thank you for just doing it. I have a script, but I didn't think it was possible. But you're showing that it's possible to just do it, and so the more of us that go out there, write different stories, believe in the stories, there's the more fan pages like you that say how they feel about the R word scenes, and things like that. It's as a collective, I think that a change is happening. I think the fans are speaking out, about what they want to see. And I believe so much in the vertical format cinematographically, I understand that horizontal is everything. It's iconic. It's history and everything. But so was black and white films, Oh, so was silent films. And there's an evolution, and we are all addicted.
100%.
And we are also busy in all of that. So I do believe that vertical format is happening. No one can stop it. It's blazing forward. And then with Drama Box and Disney being in the Disney incubator, that just legitimizes and elevated the industry one more step. So I think we're going to see so many new genres. I can never say that word, but so I go the French way, coming through, that it's going to explode. And yes, right now we're blazing in a new path, but it's just everything is going to explode. So, yeah. So I hope the change is hopefully just inspiring people that it is possible.
And I know that you've already done that because I know you have. So we're just putting that on the record. Carin has already done that and shown, because there are a lot of other projects now that are now beginning to happen, all because they've seen what you've done.
Well, I can't take any credit for that, but I'm just so happy for any other creative out there. Please DM me. My knowledge is open, my very limited knowledge. I have to say the caveat is that I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just making it up as I go, I'm an entrepreneur and everything, but I have never produced something of this level. I've done project management for massive projects, but, but so really, you don't have to know, yes, skill is involved, but that's why you hire amazing people to be on your team who do know what they're doing, right? So, yeah.
And I just want to finish with talking about the actual story. Okay. So the story's out there. What do you want people to feel when they finish it? And do you have any scenes that you can just give a hint of, like, I know there's going to be messages about this scene because that's the one that everyone's going to love?
In the writing, we have 3 love stories. So that's also different.
3 is already different. Yes.
So we believe that our fans are intelligent, that vertical watchers, yes, they've been drawn to this format because of escapism and it's quick input and it doesn't, anyways, all the reasons, right? But we believe that they can handle 3 storylines at the same time that are interwoven, and so there's complexity in it. There's feelings, there's dealing with loss. We have 2 widows that fall in love. We have children who've lost their parents, and there's touching scenes that are beautiful, that are dealing with real emotions. And we, as a director, I really wanted authentic, grounded performances. The story's over the top. We don't need the acting to be over the top, right? So it's very authentic. One of my favorite scenes, it's so cute, is Eden Lane. So she's the mom of Finn and Sage, and they've come to this surf town for a fresh start. And it's the hometown that her husband and their dad, who passed away in a surfing accident, where he grew up. And so they want to feel close to him. So they go there. I'm like, I'm going to cry. I'm such emotional.
I love this, but this is amazing that it still means this much to you. That's just beautiful. Yeah.
And then so Victor Graves, who is the baddie, not doing too much, but he also falls foot over heels for Eden the monk, and he sends an invitation to a cocktail party for her, and she's so nervous. It's the first time she's putting herself out there again, and she's with her daughter. And it's this beautiful scene where the daughter's, Sage, who's played by Natasha Reimer, who is adorable and just so real. She's an environmentalist. She's trying to save the turtles. And it's them sitting on a bed and she's like, hey, Mom, it's not every day you get invited to a party with Victor Graves. And the mom's like, oh, I don't know. And the daughter makes her promise that she'll dress up. She's like, oh, okay. And then the next scene is kind of this Pretty Woman scene where Sage is sitting on the sofa and Eden starts coming out in all these different outfits. She's dancing and Sage is like, yes, no, Mom, no, too short. Music is great. And then they get on the final outfit and they jump up and down and hug each other. And then they end hugging in front of the mirror and have this beautiful moment, where Eden says, I just don't know, and Sage says, I think Dad would have wanted you to be happy, So.
And that's so groundbreaking because mother-daughter relationships or mother-son or, father-son, father-daughter. Yeah, that's the normal relationship.
Yeah.
And so actually showing something real and positive, but still within, the area of a vertical love story. I think that's magical. And you've made me want to cry now, so I can't cry. I'm not allowed to cry. Not on camera. We can't both go, Carin.
He's massive. I'm crying. No, you're crying.
Yeah. I just want to say, kind of on behalf, I think, of every single fan, just thank you for what you're trying to do, because it's kind of awe-inspiring, and we know that you'll create something groundbreaking and wonderful and fresh fast, and it's an insane amount of work. And just honestly, just thank you for going, do you know what, I'm going to do that, rather than, well, that's a nice idea, maybe another decade. So just thank you.
Oh, thank you. There's so much we would have done better. It's not perfect by any means, but our hearts are in it, and that's pretty special, because sometimes we don't even remember the names of the shows we work on because it's like, it's a little bit of a treadmill, but this is like, we really believe in. But thank you for all that you're doing with Vertical Drama Love, whilst raising children and having not a real job, having a day job. What you do for all of us is incredible, for the actors, producers, elevating the space, speaking to production companies and platforms, and standing up for what you believe in. I'm thankful to you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why we bonded, isn't it? Of like, if we're going to be here, we're going to try and make it a little bit better. So, right. So this is going to be a watch this space. You'll be able to go below the video and see links to trailer and things like that. And then hopefully we will have more. It's not hopefully. I know there will be more videos in this series, Talking Tides of Desire.